think in the last class we were doing some units and measurements concepts. So maybe we will continue with that. So I think we talked about radians to degrees and degrees to radians conversions. We did some basic problems, right, from your state board book. So then we did some radar based problems, right? Okay, as I told you some basic things, I leave it to you. You have to, tell me what is going on in your school, 11 students. So Sharmila, you are in state board or CBSE? Hmm?
State board, sir.
State board. எந்த ஊர் நீங்க?
Chengalpattu district, sir.
செங்கல்பட்டு. ஓகே 11ங்களா 12ங்களா?
11th standard, sir.
11th ஓகே. இப்பதான் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிருப்பாங்க. எந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சாப்டர் தான் போயிட்டு இருக்கா இப்போ ஸ்கூல்ல?
Sir,
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சாப்டர் முடிச்சிட்டாங்களா இல்ல எடுத்துட்டு இருக்காங்களா இன்னும்?
முடிச்சிட்டாங்க, sir.
முடிச்சிட்டாங்க. ஓகே. ஏதாவது டவுட் இருக்கா? நீங்க டவுட் இருக்குன்னு சொன்னீங்கன்னா அந்த டாபிக் நான் கரெக்டா எடுக்கலாம். எந்த டாபிக்னு பாருங்க.
இல்ல, sir.
ஆ?
Doubt இல்ல, sir.
டவுட்டே இல்லையா?
No, sir.
ஓகே. Okay, maybe we can spend some time in this vernier caliper thing. Last class I think we didn't do this, so maybe we can do this. Can you see my screen, everyone? Sharmila.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here if you see, right, this is 2 centimeter and then this is 2.1, 2.2. So that means it's somewhere here. So main scale reading, right? Main scale reading will be 2.2 centimeter. And then look at this. You have to find out where the line is perfectly becoming a straight line. Okay, so you can see I think only this line is kind of straight. So this one. So that means up to this it is 5 and 6, 7. So 7th division is coinciding. So least count into 7th division. Least count generally it will be given in your question, right? Otherwise we have to find what is the least count from the measuring device. So here I think the least count is 0.1 centimeter, means 1 millimeter means 0.01 centimeter. So that means least count is 1 millimeter. So zero point 0.1 millimeter. Actually, so in this problem I think they given it as least count as zero point 0.1 millimeter, which can also be written as 0.01 centimeter. So this is 0.01 centimeter, which is the least count, multiplied by the seventh division. So that means this is 0.07 centimeter. It means the total reading or measurement is equal to MSR plus VSR. MSR is 2.2 plus VSR is 0.07. So that means this will become 2.27 centimeter. Okay, so that's your reading in this picture. So let's see what they got in the book. 2.24. So I think they have taken 2.2 main scale reading is correct. Instead of 7th division, they have taken it as 4th division. Oh, okay. Maybe we'll try to make it a little bit bigger. So I thought
யாரோ
this.
ஒருத்தர் வர ட்ரை பண்றாரு குரு.
என்னங்க?
Somebody is trying to come. பாருங்க.
இல்லையே, ஃபுல்லாக ஓப்பனாக தானே இருக்குது, யார் வேணாலும் உள்ள வரலாம். Adila Shafi, I think she has come. Bhumika, Cuba Hamna.
No, somebody, some new person நினைக்கிறேன். பாப்போம்.
Okay, I think you can see, all of them are come inside. I made it like, automatically they can come in. I don't
அந்த
have
பையன்
to.
வந்துட்டான். அந்த சந்தோஷங்கிற பையன் வந்துட்டான். அது
Yeah.
அவன் போகலன்னு சொன்னா அதனால தான் கூப்பிட்டேன்.
Okay.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Okay.
ஓகேப்பா.
So I took this 7th division as, coinciding line. But I think in the book they have taken this as a coinciding line, which also looks correct, right? So this is your 4th division. So 4th division means, again let me correct this. So this is 4th division then. So that means this will become 2.24. Okay, so that means you have to understand that total reading is nothing but MSR plus VSR. What is MSR? Wherever the 0 is crossing, right? So it crossed 2.2 centimeters. So that is my MSR. How do I find the VSR? Vernier scale. Least count multiplied by the division which it is coinciding, meaning it is like a straight line, perfect straight line. Very often you will get a confusion, so listen carefully. So you will get a confusion, sir, like I got here, you will get a confusion, should I take this or this? And the simple answer is you should take the first line. So whichever is the lowest line, that line is what we have to take. That means, I have taken this 7th, which is wrong. I should have taken this 4th. And after that, you can see some of them are not coinciding. Okay, some of them are kind of coinciding. 1, 2, 3, 4. So maybe this line. So this line is kind of perfectly straight line. Any doubts in that? So very often you'll get some simple question based on this, right? So very easy if you know this trick. Least count multiplied by the 4th division. If you know this, you can apply the same concept for your screw gauge also. A screw gauge or screw gauge, whatever you want to call. So instead of main scale and Vernier scale, you will have, in screw gauge instrument, You will, generally we use this to measure the diameter of a small wires, like, extremely small wires, like, copper wires. So very often I think you will have a experiment in your school. This is called the pitch scale and this is called the circular scale. Okay, so the linear scale is called pitch scale, the round scale or circular scale, right? Or sometimes it's referred as drum scale. But the concepts are exactly the same, right? So let's take this picture and see whether we can calculate the measurement. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Again, when you are doing this in the lab, probably, only if you know this theory, you will be able to do it properly. So listen carefully. Okay, let us see how we can now find the measurement here. So this is, as I said, this is a pitch scale. Pitch scale is similar to your MSR, main scale reading. So it's very similar. So this is your main reading. So the main reading you can see 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, 3 millimeter, 4, 5, 6, and I cannot see the seventh line. So that means this should be taken as 6 millimeter. And then if you see this, this is, as I told you, this is your circular scale. Circular scale is very similar to your Vernier scale, VSR. So I have to do the same concept, least count multiplied by the division, nth division. Here instead of coincidence, it will be like, wherever this line is crossing that value. So least count of a screw gauge, in Vernier usually it will be like, 0.1 millimeter. Screw gauge usually it will be like 0.01 millimeter. Again, there are different Vernier scales and Vernier screw gauges. So this value will be dependent upon the instrument. So I'm guessing this might be the value, but we'll see. We'll come to that. Nth division, let's see. I think 40 is coinciding with this, right? This line is what we are looking for. So that means this line is coinciding with 40, 40th division. So that means this will be taken as 40. So least count, again, as I said, sometimes they will give you in the question itself. So yeah, you can see 0.01. So 0.01 is the least count, millimeter. Again, it's important for you to write it as millimeter or centimeter. In the previous question it was centimeter, here you have to write it in millimeter. So again this will be 40 multiplied by 0.01, so it will become 0.4 millimeter. Again you have to add this and this, so that means the total reading, you can say total reading or measurement, is equal to pitch scale plus circular scale. So pitch scale is, we found as 6 millimeter plus 0.4 millimeter is the circular scale. So that means it will be 6.4 millimeter. So very, very simple, nothing very difficult, but I have seen many students think it is very difficult and they skip it, right? So any doubts here, anybody?
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Yep.
How do we find that the 6 millimeters, sir?
Just a sec. How to find the?
How do you find that 6 millimeters, sir?
How to find அதுக்கப்புறம் கேட்க மாட்டேங்குது. I am not able to follow what you are saying. How to find what?
சார் நீங்க பிக்ஸ் ஸ்கேல் எப்படி சார் 6 மில்லிமீட்டர்னு கண்டுபிடிச்சீங்க?
பிட் ஸ்கேல் எப்படி கண்டுபிடிச்சேன்னு கேட்குறீங்களா? பிட் ஸ்கேல் வந்து இங்கே பாருங்க, இது வந்து ஒரு டிவிஷன் இருந்தால் நம்ம ஸ்கேலில் இருக்குது இல்லையா, நம்ம ஸ்கேலில் இருக்கிற மாதிரி இது வந்து 1 மில்லிமீட்டர். இது 2 டிவிஷனு, 3 டிவிஷன், 4 டிவிஷன், 5th டிவிஷன், 6th டிவிஷன். ஐ cannot see 7th டிவிஷன், அப்போ 6 தான் போடணும். அப்போ 6 மில்லிமீட்டர். புரிஞ்சுதா? இது பார்க்குறேன். புரிஞ்சுதா இல்லையா?
சார் உங்க ஸ்கிரீன் சரியா கவர் ஆக மாட்டேங்குது சார் நீங்க காட்டுற இடத்துல.
ஸ்க்ரீன் தெரியலையா? மற்றவங்களுக்குலாம் தெரியுதா இல்லையா?
நீங்க சொல்ற இடத்துல கவர் ஆக மாட்டேங்குது சார்.
மற்றவங்களுக்கு தெரியுதா இல்லையா? எல்லாருக்கும் ஷேர் பண்ணிட்டு தானே இருக்கேன். என்டையர் ஸ்க்ரீன் ஷேர் பண்ணுறேன்னா இப்போ ஏதாவது தெரியுதா கொஞ்சம்?
ஓகே சார்.
நீங்கள் ஃபோனில் பார்க்குறீங்களோ?
ஆமாம் சார்.
ஃபோனில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா பிட்டு பிட்டாக தான் தெரியும். நீங்கள் வந்து இதில் பார்த்தா தான் வந்து ஃபுல்லாக தெரியும் ஆக்சுவலாக. ஓகே. ஸோ நீங்கள், ஏன்னா நான் வந்து இந்த என்டையர் ஸ்க்ரீன் நான் இப்படி மூவ் பண்ணிகிட்டே இருந்தேன் அப்படின்னாக்கா, ஏன்னா கம்ப்யூட்டர் ஸ்க்ரீனே நமக்கு பற்ற மாட்டேங்குது. we are not able to know this computer screen itself is not sufficient enough. So if you are seeing it in phone, obviously you will be seeing, part by part. Okay, are you able to see this? You have 1 2 3 4 5 6, so that's why I put it as 6 millimeter. Here this line is coinciding with this 40. That means I took it as 40th division. Is that okay?
Okay sir.
Okay, any other doubt? So if you see carefully, vernier scale and the vernier and the screw gauge, the concepts are exactly the same. Okay. Only thing you should know, least count will change. Usually for vernier it is 0.1 millimeter. For screw gauge it will be 0.01 millimeter. Okay, if you go back and check, remember I didn't say point, I said 0.1 millimeter, which means 0.01 centimeter divided by 10. Okay, then there is something called zero error. Okay, so if you see this one, the zero is when you are filling this gap without any gap, right? If I keep on turning, it will come and hit this. When it is hitting it, you will see that zero should match with this line perfectly. But sometimes what will happen is it will not join perfectly with this zero here. It will not be perfectly matching with this zero. So that means you see 5 here, so 5 has gone, 0 has gone to the bottom, so 5 has come here, so that means this is like positive error. Whereas this one, you see 0 has gone to the top, so that means this is a negative error. Okay, so this is when you go to the lab, please try to take a vernier or a screw gauge and take a look at it. You will understand this better. I can, if you want, I can explain it in Tamil also. Anybody who cannot follow Tamil? Anybody? Everyone follows Tamil? Anybody who cannot understand Tamil? Okay. இப்போ நீங்கள் வந்து ஒரு வேயிங் மிஷினில் வெயிட் பார்க்குறீங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. நீங்கள் ஏறி நிற்கிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி, பிஃபோர் யூ கெட் ஆன் டு த weighing machine, right? What is the weight it should show? before you get onto the weighing machine, what is the value you would expect it to show?
0.
0. Very good. Upon the 0 kamikama Sendamil Chilvan 0. Yeah, that is correct. So you said correctly. So that means நம்ம ஏறி நிற்கிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி 0 தான் காமிக்கணும். பட் ஆனால் 0 காமிக்காமல் சப்போஸ் 0.1ன்னு காமிச்சதுன்னு வச்சுப்போம், இல்லை -0.1 காமிக்குதுன்னு வச்சுப்போம், அதுதான் வந்து நம்ம 0 எரர்னு சொல்லுவோம். அப்போ என்ன பண்ணணும், நம்ம மெஷர் பண்ணி முடித்த அப்புறம் அந்த 0 எரருக்கு கரெக்ஷன் பண்ணணும். அதுக்கு பேர் 0 கரெக்ஷன். அப்போது சப்போஸ் நான் ஏறி நின்று 50 kg காமிக்குதுன்னு வச்சுக்கோம். சப்போஸ் let's say it's showing me 50 kg and the 0 error is 0.1. So listen carefully. I think some of you are there who cannot follow Tamil, so let me explain it in English itself. If you are not able to follow something, please let me know so that I can explain you both in English and Tamil. So let's say the 0 error of the weighing machine is plus 0.1 kg. Your measurement, right? Let's say you stand on the weighing machine and you got a value of 50.1 kg. That means, what is the corrected measurement?
50 kg, sir.
20, yeah?
50 kg, sir.
50. Why?
0.1 வந்து எக்ஸ்ட்ரா இருக்கிற மெஷர்மெண்ட் சார். நம்ம உண்மையான மெஷர்மெண்ட் அப்போ 50 kg, சார்.
Okay, very good. So that means 0.1 is the extra. So that means the error is positive. When the error is positive, the correction should be negative. So that means minus 0.1. So that means correction should be negative. It's a very important concept. So that means when this is positive, this should be negative. When this is negative, this should be positive. So this will become 50.0 kg. So this is your corrected measurement. Okay, so very often you will get questions based on this. It's very important topic. So they will give you a measurement. So this, they will try to combine this problem with this problem. Okay, 0 error சேர்த்து கொடுப்பாங்க. So you have to do this problem and then you have to do the 0 correction. But you should remember that if it is like this, when it is on the bottom, it is positive. When it is on the top, when the 0 is in the bottom, then it is positive error. When the 0 is on the top, then it is negative error. Okay, so very important topic. So hope you understood it. Anybody having any doubts means I can explain it to you. So please raise your doubt. My expectation is whatever is happening in your school, we have to discuss the same thing over here, so that whatever doubts you had in your school, it will be clarified here. Okay, so that is my first goal. NEET JEE, all these things are secondary. First of all, I want to make sure that your concepts are thorough. I think I already did this problem in the last class. So radar method, I think we did a problem based on this. You can go back and check it. Can anyone tell me what is 1 light year? What is 1 light year? It's a unit of, is it a unit of time or distance or mass?
Distance, sir.
Distance, okay, very good. Unit of distance. Okay, how do you define it? Is that so difficult? It's very simple. Distance covered by what? Covered by light in 1 year. That is what is called 1 light year. So that means when I am measuring a table, I will use meter. When I am measuring a pen, right, like a pen cap or something, let's say this is a pen cap. So I want to measure this diameter. Then I'll be measuring it in millimeter or centimeter. If I'm measuring the distance between, say, some different cities, let's say Bangalore is here and Chennai is here, so that means let's say 400 kilometers, right? So we say that distance is 400 kilometers, 500 kilometers, something like this. So that means depending upon the situation, right, we use different units. Sometimes we use kilometers, sometimes we use millimeters, sometimes we use meters. Here, when you are measuring the distance between galaxies, right, different galaxies or a very far away star, then we use something called light year because it's a very, very long distance. So kilometers will not work there. So that means we like to use it in light years. Okay. So of course there are different units like parsec. You have light year, you have parsec, you have astronomical unit, right? So we'll talk about that. So you know that light travels at a distance at the speed of 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. In 1 hour I have 3600 seconds. In one day I have 24 hours. In 1 year I have 365 days, or more accurately 365.25 days, right? That's what will add up, the quarter will add up as in every leap year, February 29. That means when I multiply this, I think I should get somewhere around 9 point something into 10 power 15, I think. So that many meters. Okay, so we can double check it quickly. 3 into 3600 into 24 into 365. So yeah, so that means I'm getting 9.46 into 10 power 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 plus 8, yeah. And then there is a 10 power 8. So that means 7 plus 8, it will become 15. So 9.46. Okay, so approximately you can say 9.46 into 10 power 15 meters. So that's a huge number, right? If you want to think about it in kilometers, it will be like 10 power 12 kilometers. Okay, so that's an important unit very often we will use. Sometimes you will get questions based on parsec, okay, and sometimes we will be using astronomical unit, right? You should know what is angstrom, nanometer, micron, light year distance. This is what we saw right now. Fermi means 10 power minus 15. So go through these things, okay. You can search for Tamil Nadu State Board, textbook. You will find it online. You can go through these things yourself. I am not going to go through it. Theory of errors, I think I already gave you a small introduction, accuracy and precision, right? Last class we talked about it. So this is accurate and precise. This is not accurate, not precise. This is precise, meaning the all your bullets have hit the target slightly away, which means there is some error, right? But then all of them are coming very close to each other. So that is what is called repeatability or repeating numbers 10.5, 10.4, 10.3. So that means if it is coming very close, then we say it is precise equipment. Okay. Even though we are talking about measurement equipments, um, the target practice in your bullets, this is your target and this is the bullets where this is the places where the bullets have hit. So this is a very nice visual way of understanding the measurement. I'm going to leave these things to you: personal errors, errors due to external causes, systematic errors, random errors, right? You can go through this. Gross error, we went through this the last class. So I think we didn't do that example. Maybe we can do this example. So carefully listen. Very easy problem. Again, as I said, if you understand the concept, everything is easy. If you don't understand the concept, everything is difficult, right? So doing the mathematics, addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, anybody can do it. Your job is to understand the concepts properly, and then you can try it yourself also. A series of successive measurements in an experiment, the readings of the period of oscillation of a simple pendulum were found to be all these values. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 values are there. Calculate the mean value of the period of oscillation. So that means mean value means a mean. So let's call this as a mean. So it means 2.63 plus 2.56 plus 2.42 plus 2.71 plus 2.80 divided by 5. So that is going to be your mean or average. Quickly try this. 2.63 plus 2.56 plus 2.42 plus 2.71 plus 2.8. So I'm getting 13.12 divided by 5. So I'm getting 2.624. Okay. So I think I'm going to round it off this one. So that means this will be 2.62 only. Seconds. Okay, so that's a mean value. Absolute error in each measurement. So that means absolute error means delta A1, delta A2. So like that you have to calculate for each one. So delta A is equal to A mean minus AI. Then you have to take the plus or minus doesn't matter. So that means we take it as a modulus. So that means delta A1 is equal to A minus 2.62 minus 2.63, which means this will be 0.01. Okay, again, as I said, the plus and minus does not matter. Delta A2 for the second reading, the error is, this is the error. What does that mean? It means from the mean value how much it is away. That is what is called the error. 2.56. So that means 2.62 minus 2.56. So 4 here, 2 here, so it will be 6. 0.06. Anybody not following? Any doubts? 2.62 minus 2.42. So that means this will be 0.20. Delta A4 is equal to 2.71. So 2.62 minus 2.71. So 6271, I think it will be like 9, right? 8 plus 1, 9. Yeah, so 0.09. Last one only 2.80. So that means delta A4, A5 2.62 minus 2.80. So 80 minus 62, it will be 10 and 18, so it will be 0.8. So that means these are all the errors. So errors for each measurement. Okay. So how much it is away from the mean point? That is what is your errors. So that means we found the absolute error in each. Mean absolute error. Mean absolute error means mean of these values. So that means delta A mean. So that means delta A1 plus delta A2 plus delta A3. So like that, you have to add all the errors divided by the number of errors. So that means 0.01 plus 0.06 plus 0.20 plus 0.09 plus 0.18 divided by 5. So do the math quickly. Let me see what I am getting. 0.01 plus 0.06 plus zero point 0.2 plus 0.09 plus 0.18, 0.54 divided by 5. So 0.108. And I think I can round this off, so it will become 0.11. Okay, for 2 digits. Any doubts here? So if you follow this, very simple. So we are calculating the mean of the errors. So that means the error is around 0.11. So that means the third division is done. Relative error. So relative error means this is the error, mean error, divided by the original mean value. So that means 0. So this is error, mean error divided by the origin value or the true value. The true value of the measurement is 2.62 or the mean value. So 2.62. That means how much will you get here? 0.11 divided by 2.62. 0.04. Okay. And if I round it off, I'll get 0.04. So the relative error is 0.04. What do you mean by relative error? Let's say you get a mark of say 7, right? If you tell me your mark is 7, I will ask you the next question I will ask you is out of what? So this is called the absolute value. The relative value will be, did you get 7 out of 10, or did you get 7 out of 20, or did you get 7 out of 100, right? If you got 7 out of 10, it is not a bad score, right? A good score. If you got 7 out of 100, it's a bad score. So that means you should understand that the absolute number does not tell you whether it is good or bad. Only when you find the relative error, right, it will tell you whether it is good or bad. So that means the relative error should be very low. Okay, in the marks case, we want a higher marks. In the error case, we want a very low value. So this is what is called the relative error. And if I told you, let's say you tell me the marks is out of 10, that means it will be 7 out of 10. Then I will ask you what is the percentage. If I ask you what is the percentage, you will multiply by 100. Then you will say it is 70%. So that means relative error multiplied by 100 will give me the percentage error. So that means the percentage error. So relative error and percentage error are exactly the same thing. Only thing you have to multiply by 100. So that means 0.04 into 100. So that means it will be 4%. Any questions? I think I have done very slowly so that express the result in proper form. Percentage error, relative error we did it, percentage error also we did it. You see 0.044%. Express the result in proper form. So that means plus or minus. Okay, so the error is given in the plus or minus. Okay, 2.62. So 2.62 is the average. Plus or minus the error is nothing but your uncertainty or plus or minus, so 0.11. So what this means is when you measure the distance in a scale, 1 millimeter is the uncertainty, right? That is your least count. That means here similarly here this is the uncertainty. What it means is there might be some error. This 2.62 may not be perfectly correct. It can be 2. What it means is it can be 2.73 or it can be minus also. So that means it will be 2.51. So that means the values can fall within, values might fall within this range. Okay, again I repeat, this is what is the error measurement, right? Average, mean error. This is the mean measurement, mean value. So that means when you write this together, right, this will give you 2.62 plus 0.11 will give me 2.73. If you subtract this minus 2.62 minus 0.11, I'll get 2.51. That means the values can fall anywhere between this. You see 2.62 will also be somewhere here in the middle. So that means it can be this up to this value or this value. So that means that is your uncertainty. Anybody not following anything, please raise your doubts. As I said, I am going very slowly so that everyone follows properly. Again, I'm taking your textbook problems. Okay, I'm taking the very easy ones. Once you only if you are thorough with the easy ones, you will be able to do the difficult ones. If you cannot do the easy ones, then obviously you cannot do the difficult ones. Any doubts? Can I move on? I would say try these things yourself. Okay, round it up. Um, try these problems and then see whether you're getting the correct answers. Propagation of errors. Okay, two resistances. R1 is 100 plus or minus 3. R2 is 150 plus or minus 2 are connected in series. So in your 10th standard knowledge, you know that resistance in series means you can simply add them to find the total resistance. So that means what is their equivalent resistance? So R equivalent is equal to R1 plus R2. So in your 10th standard, what you might have done it is they would have given 100 ohms plus they would have given this 150 ohms. That means you would have said it is total is 250 ohms. That's a very easy problem. But now since you are in 11th standard, we are talking about the uncertainties. So that means you should know how to handle the uncertainty. So there is a formula for this. Okay, del Z is equal to del A plus del B. So del Z is equal to del A plus del B. So that means del of R equivalent is equal to del of R1 plus del of R2. Del means this error. So that means this will be 3, this will be 2. That means 3 plus 2 it will be 5 ohms. So that means here you should say that R equivalent plus or minus delta R equivalent is nothing but 250 ohms plus or minus 5 ohms. Okay. Sir, how do I understand this? Why are we doing this addition means? Listen carefully, you can directly mug up this formula and apply it here. But if you really want to know how I got this formula, right? Why we are getting it like this, then you should know one more step, which is 100 plus or minus 3 means this can be 100 minus 3 means it will be 97 ohms. 100 plus 3 means it will be 103 ohms. 150 plus or minus 2 means 150 minus 2 will become 148. Right? The lowest value here is 97, the highest value is 103. Here the lowest value is 148. 2, the highest value will be 152 ohms. That means here if I want to find the highest value, I have to add these two values. Here if I want to find the lowest value, I have to add these two values. So that means 97 plus 148. And then here I have to do 103 plus 152. So here it will be 15, 1. So that means it will be 1, 10, so 14. 1 245. So here if I add it, it will be 5 5 255. So you see 245 to 255. So that means the mid value will be 250. So that means it will be 250 plus or minus 5. So that means you got 250 plus or minus 5. So that means, sir, do I have to know all this method? Well, if you know it, it is good for you, right? So take it down properly. If you know it, you know why we are getting it like this. Otherwise, you will simply mug up without knowing the concept. So understanding the concept is very, very important, especially for your NEET and JEE or whatever entrance exam. Even if you are not going for any entrance exam, right? When you go to college, only if you know the logic, it will make sense. If you don't know the logic, you will be blinking forever. So please understand that your mathematics and physics is going to be the most important subjects for your engineering. Okay, in case if you are taking engineering. No, sir, I'm going to prepare for NEET means even for NEET or any other engineering courses. All this understanding the basics is very, very important. I've seen many students, they don't study the underlying principles properly, and then when they go to college they struggle a lot. So don't be like that. Try to understand the concepts properly. Okay, that is what will help you in long run. Any doubts? Just to make it easy for you, they are given very simple.
Sir,
Yeah.
I can't understand this properly, sir.
என்ன சார் புரியல? R1 கொடுத்துருக்காங்க, R2 கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. R1 வந்து 100 plus or minus 3, R2 வந்து 150 plus or minus 2. கரெக்டா? அப்போ R1 plus R2 ஒரு ஃபார்முலா படிச்சிங்களா 10th?
Yes, sir.
அப்போ 100 plus 150 will become 250. கரெக்டா?
Yes, sir.
டெல்டா Z is equal to delta A plus delta B. அது எங்கேருந்து வந்தது அப்படின்னா இந்த டெரிவேஷன்லேருந்து வந்தது. ஓகேவா? அப்போ டெல்டா டெல்டா அப்படின்னாலே வந்து இட் இஸ் அன்சர்டன்டி. அப்போ இதில் அன்சர்டன்டி என்னது 3, இதில் அன்சர்டன்டி என்னது 2. அப்போ 3 plus 2 வந்து 5. அப்போ the total measurement will be 250 in the value plus or minus 5. அவ்வளோதான். என்ன புரியல இதில் உங்களுக்கு? என்ன புரியலன்னு சொல்லுங்க. இந்த டெரிவேஷன்னா if you want I can help you with this derivation. Do you want the derivation? The school exams I think they will ask you derivations, so let's try that derivation which is given here. So if I want Z is equal to A plus B, like R1 plus R2, Z plus or minus delta Z, if I want it with along with the uncertainty, then I have to do A plus or minus delta A plus B plus or minus delta B. So this and this will be added. So A plus B. And then this plus or minus, you see this will come like this, plus or minus delta A, and then plus into plus it will be plus, plus into minus it will be minus delta B. That means A plus B I can keep it in the bracket, plus or minus I can take it out commonly, so that means I will get delta A plus delta B. That's all. So that means this is how they get. So this is equal to this, this is equal to this. You can try the same thing for your for subtraction also, right? So for subtraction also you will get a minus here. So minus into plus it will become minus, minus into minus it will become plus here. So again you will get plus or minus outside and you will get a plus here. புரிஞ்சதா இல்லையாங்க உங்களுக்கு? புரிஞ்சதா?
Yes, sir.
ஓகே, புரியலன்னா கேளுங்க. எந்த ஸ்டெப்பு புரியலன்னு கேட்டாக்கா எனக்கு அதுக்கேற்ற மாதிரி சொல்ல முடியும். மொத்தமாக ஒன்றுமே புரியல அப்படின்னா வந்து ஐ டோன்ட் நோ வேர் யூ ஆர் ஹேவிங் ட்ரபிள். ஸோ யூ ஹேவ் டு டெல் இந்த ஸ்டெப்பு புரியல சார் அப்படின்னு கரெக்டாக சொல்லணும். ஓகேவா? Temperatures of two bodies measured by a thermometer are T1 is equal to this much, T2 is equal to this much. Calculate the temperature difference and the error therein. So again, as I told you, the temperature difference, so that means it will be T1 minus T2. So that means they are asking you to find T1 minus T2. So T1 minus T2 directly I can do 20 minus 50, but since we want it in positive, right? So we can say it is 50 minus 50 minus 20, so it will be 30 degrees Celsius. But then how to find the delta? So it will be delta T will be still addition only, delta T1 plus delta T2. So even though we are trying to find the difference, when it comes to the error, it will be added. So that means it will be 0.5 plus 0.5. So it will be 1 degree Celsius. So that means the T total plus or minus delta T is nothing but 30 degree plus or minus 1 degree. The confusion you may get is, sir, how come in the addition you said you add the errors? In subtraction also you are saying, subtract, addition. How is that possible? Well, here you have to do subtraction in the main numbers, but in the errors you have to still add it. Okay. I will show you here. You see 30 plus or minus 1. The reason for that is you have to go back to the derivation here, right? Because of this minus going in here, I can show you the derivation. Then probably you can understand it better. Because if I show the problem first, probably you will get an idea. So for subtraction with errors. So z plus or minus delta z is equal to a plus or minus delta a minus b plus or minus delta b. So a minus b, just like what we did in the previous case, here this will become a minus b. However, if you carefully look at the second part, listen carefully, very important. Minus into plus it will become minus. Minus into minus it will become plus. So a minus b. But even though it looks plus or minus here and minus or plus here, I can take plus or minus commonly out. That means it will become delta A plus delta B. Can do some approximate numbers like this and you can try it, you will get the same answer. So that means you see Here it is still addition. So this is where many of you will make a mistake, so note it down. In the main numbers you have to do subtraction, but the errors you still have to add them. So that's why you are adding it here, even though you are subtracting the main numbers. Okay, I think it is time now. If you have any doubts, I can answer that. Otherwise, we can stop here and we can come back in the next class. My expectation is please go through the book, please go through the class work in your school work, and whatever we are doing here, go through all these things and clarify your doubts. Okay, if you don't do the problems, obviously you will not be able to get good score in your school also, and also in your NEET or other entrance exams. So you have to study properly with your school notes and the notes given here. Okay, of course you have a very good book, so you can practice it from the book. Extremely good book, so you can practice all these things very well. Is that okay? Will you practice and come for the next class, everyone? Sharmila, Prasanna, Devi, Santosh, Bhumika, will you practice? No answer.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Okay, practice well. Okay, at least some 5 or 10 example problems, practice it and come. Okay, so thank you all. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you all. Bye.